Hello, and welcome to week 52 here in my Stitch Circle Show Challenge. It's the last week. It's a little sad perhaps, but oh my, this year has flown by because of this challenge. All the different information I'm going to give you before we start the actual stitching is there are links below here under the video, under the little word more, or in the description box. So I won't say it every time I mention something, but you can find all the things below here. For those of you who have been with me all year long, congratulations to you too. You probably will have a big fat book or something else where you store your weekly embroideries, and you have a lot of inspiration to look at with all these circles you have been sewing. And I really hope you have been enjoying it. That was the first thing. And you, of course, know what the Dogma Embroidery Challenge is about. But find the playlist, find week 1, and there I will explain all about what the Dogma Rule Challenge is about, and especially what Dogma Rules means to a Danish person. I would also say that there is a Facebook group for this year-long challenge, and even though I am done here when I've made this circle here, the group on Facebook and the challenge itself won't stop. So if you just have found me now, or 4 months ago, or 3 months ago, all the challenges will be in the Facebook group, and all the playlists will be here on YouTube. So you can, anytime you want, participate or do the challenge. As long as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube exist and allows me to exist there, the challenge will be there. So, and I will go in and approve your post if you are posting pictures of your embroideries in the new year in the Facebook group. Don't apply the group if you ain't going to do the challenge. It is only for members who want to do the challenge. That was about this year. And shortly next year there will also be a stitch challenge, a Dogma Rule stitch challenge. And a couple of weeks ago, I think I made a small video what it would be about, and there will also be a link for that here under here. So look at that. There also is a Facebook group for that, and you can apply that if you will do the challenge. Don't apply if you won't do the challenge. If you're curious or nosy, or nosy is perhaps not a kind word, but you can always look here or look at Instagram at the 2 hashtags that also is here below. So then you can see what other people are doing. What else do I want to say? Yeah, of course, my name is Lisbeth. I'm Danish, so pardon my bumpy English, but I think it's going okay, and you people can see what I'm doing. And sometimes I miss words, and many of you have been so kind of helping me, saying that it is called this and that. And I wish I was much younger, because then I were able to remember some of it. Some of it, it goes in one year and out in the other year. But so it must be. But slowly my vocabulary is getting bigger and bigger. But I don't speak English normally in the daytime or so. So it is only here on the channel I am speaking English. So I have put all my small samples here in a book, and there also is a link for making this cover. You can find below here, but it isn't a must to have such a book. You can do whatever you will with your small pieces of embroidery. You can sew them on a scroll, you can sew them on an old sheet, you can put them in a board sketchbook. Yeah, you do whatever you will. One of the members are having a big bowl where she puts her embroideries in a stack in that bowl, but you will have a big inspiration source to look at if you don't know what to do. But I don't think I want to say much more, but thank you for all your kind comments and kind words and helping me with some of my words, and congratulations to you who has been with me all the year. It is so nice to see all your fantastic embroideries in the group, and I'm really appreciate it. So enough of me talking, let us get going. As you can see, my book is fat and chunky, so I will just open it, take one of my signatures out and say this is, so it won't be so fat here while I'm working. So I'll just put it here beside me. And this was week 51. And here I'm ready for the last spread here, week 52. So here we go with the rules. Find a piece of fabric in a dark brown, dark blue or black, as dark as you can find and as you like for the base. And also, if you are sewing on some flimsy fabric, have some old piece of something you can put under if you want to. It isn't a must. Since I'm not so in a hoop, I very often back my pieces. I like to have something to hold on to. That was the materials for the background. And since it is New Year and we are celebrating the last week, I got thinking about we need some gold. We need to have some bling bling here in our lives. So I have found these 3 pieces of gold fabric, and I can see I should have ironed it, but I haven't. And that's no surprise to you who has been with me for all the year. But I have these 3 to choose between, so I will just put them there. So the thing you're doing, away with the back piece first, is to trace a circle. You can trace it in any size you want, but not as big, because we need to have some room for sewing around the circle. So my piece is 14 by 14 centimeter, and I think I will go for this size here. And I can tell you, yeah, I know I'm doing it in centimeters, but this is 8 in diameter. I know 1 inch is about 2.5 centimeters, but you can probably figure that out. I'm not used to doing inches. If I had been a patchworker or quilter, I would have been used to inches, but I'm not, even though I like to do some free motion or freehand quilting and so, but the inches, I know some, some of the, because I've been doing a lot of 20 by 20 centimeters, so I know that is about 8 by 8 inches, but yeah, and that is that. But I will trace that circle, and then I will cut it out. And then I will place my fabric behind, and I haven't decided which one of them yet. And then I would carefully just invisible baste it down in the edge here, so it is sitting flat. And then I will put this on here on the back and invisible baste that around here. So then you have this brown fabric with a hole where there's a gold circle in. That was the first rule. The second rule is we are going to use the wheatear stitch, both detached and single ones. And I of course will show you when we reach that point how you do the wheatear stitch. And for thread, I think in the gold will sew with brown, because I have chosen a brown here. I would have liked to have a black piece, but I couldn't just right now find a black piece, so it ends up brown. So in the gold I will sew random wheatear stitches in brown, and in the circumference I will sew detached wheatear stitches in a gold-like thread of some kind. And I have several possibilities, and I haven't either decided that yet here, but it depends on how it's going. I very much like this thread. It is very thin, and it is from my weaving days, but I can double or triple it up, and I like the way it looks. It is color shifting, and it has such a nice, so I think I will go for this. But if you don't have gold, find a yellowish one who looks like gold. Not all of you perhaps have gold, but this is a flat one, and I don't like to sew very much with this. And I think this one is, yeah, perhaps it is too thick. It depends on how it is to stitch through all these layers. It should be a nice thing to stitch. It shouldn't be a hard work, if you know what I mean. But these are the 3 rules. So let's get started. And sorry, of course, I will also put the rules down here in the description box so you can read them quietly and not me. Find something to trace after. It could be something from your kitchen, a cup or small bowl, or if you have a tin plate like I have, use that. There, I think I can see that, and it is okay centered. It is always a little difficult to center it exactly because you have all this thing around, so it can be a little hard to see. Okay, so I will take my best scissor here, this small one, and just cut a hole here. And perhaps you can't see the line, and it is a little difficult to see it also for me, but I should perhaps have taken some white chalk. And maybe some of you have one of these cutters, circle cutters, then you can use that. I have one, but it is only for paper. So I will cut this out and show it to you. It isn't the easiest thing to cut a nice round circle out, but it will be as it is. So now I will have to decide which one of these fabrics I want to have under. So we can try and see which one. I like the look of this fabric, but I also am going to sew on it. But of course I can do that. That looks nice. And there's this piece here, and that is just a simple one. This one I don't like so much. So should it be this one? Yeah, I should have ironed it. I can see. Decisions. I wish I could hear you. What do you think? Yeah. I think I will go with this one because it has I like the pattern that's on here. So I will just cut it a little smaller so I don't have to. Oh, that's a paper. No, not. I can cut anything with that scissors, but it doesn't very much like to cotton fabric. I hope I haven't cut it too small now. No, it can just exactly be there. Okay. There. This is too small to save, so that will go in my bin. And I will just invisible baste this down, but before I do that, I will just give it a dab of glue here in the corners so I can keep it down. It isn't for holding anything, it is just for holding it on place while I'm stitching. And I don't want to see my line, so it is this here, there. There. And then my back piece. Look, that is okay. And it isn't going out anywhere here. There. But I think I will just take the circle here and start. It's just for keeping it in place, nothing else. So tiny stitches here, and then a tiny back stitch, and come forward a little, and tiny, but just a couple of threads back, and come up and go down a couple of threads back and come up. We are going to sew the wheatear stitch over these small stitches, so don't take notions of you can see them a little. I couldn't find a darker brown thread than this one, and it is I don't know what it is for kind of thread, but it is most annoying. It isn't smooth in any way there. But I will go all the way around the circle here and all the way here on the 4 sides, and then it is attached, and then we can start the fun thing. So everything is spaced down, as you can see here on the back. It looks quite funny on the back with these long stitches, but so it must be. So now this is ready for the wheatear stitches, but before I will show you how to do them here on this piece, and then we can go on the real piece. But it is a quite, yeah, I don't know if you could call it easy, but it's not a difficult stitch, let us say so. You come up and then you go down in the middle there, and then you go out in the same sides, in the same level, and down in the same hole here, like you have a little V. Then you come up in the middle again here, and then you take the back of the needle, the head, and go in the 2 stitches here and go down. It's like a kind of chain stitch here and down in the same hole. That is a simple wheatear. And then you do exactly the same to make them detached. You come up, go down in the same hole here, come up here, out there. It doesn't matter if you start with the left or the right vertical stitched. It doesn't matter. You can do what you will. And I'm stab stitching right now. You can also make them in one work way. Not one, but in several work ways where you. And here, instead of going only through the V, here you have to go through all 4. Here you can see I'm going through all 4 threads and down again and into the hole there. And then we'll go for the V stitch, in the same hole out here, there, and in the same hole and down one line here to make the chain up under all four threads. Sorry, I keep saying 3. It is a little tricky, but because this is a piece of felt, so I get my needle in the wool there. That is the wheatear stitch. Of course you can sew them like this also. It will be exactly the same, but I'm coming up and start on the right side. I am going down on the left and come up here there, and then I go through all the 4 threads and down, if you think that is easier. But I'm used to doing a lot of step stitching because I often don't sew in a hoop, so yeah, you can do both. So this is how you do the detached wheatear stitch, and don't ask me why it is called wheatear. I can see it is looking like wheat, these here, but ears, where do that come from? If anybody knows, please enlighten me. So let us start and make a round on our real piece. I haven't done it easy for myself because I've chosen this one here, and I will have to see how it looks before if I decide for that. But I've taken 4 strings of it, and I think it is the easiest thing to start with the right diagonal stitch first, because then you're going into the circumference, or in the gold fabric. Yeah, and that is what I was hoping for not would be happening. So there, because then it is given whoops, and there was all kind of things I'm hanging on to here. There, and down in the same hole, and come up a little further down. It is okay to be seen. So end of my needle in. It is yeah, this is something you will have to set your will on, because you really want to do this, because it is it's not nice with these strings, and you can say they don't look nice there. You see, they are not following each other, the 4 strings of the yarn, and that is one of the things why I don't like DMC yarn very much, because the same is happening there. I can try to pull in one of them, but color wise I think it is quite adorable, but I can't stand to make this stitch with the threads not lying nice. So there's only one thing to do, and that is pick it up and try something different. And I will find another kind of gold thread and see what I can come up with. So I will be back in a second for you. I could of course have cut this out of my video, but I also think it is important to see why I take some of my decisions and why I do something that doesn't work. So you can see we aren't perfect, any of us, and sometimes we will have to take new decisions if something doesn't work. So now I will try this one, and it is a quite fat thread, so if I am able to pull this through, I really don't know, but there's nothing else to do but try. And if that doesn't work either, I have another gold thread I can try to use. So again, I will come up here, and go down there. And away with all of the things my thread are hanging into. There. And that was the first V, and then I'll go a little under here. Yeah, I think I can get this to work, and put my eye through the two legs there and down. And in the same hole. There. So again, over here, down in the hole, up, and down in the hole. There's a little crowded there now. There's music in this stitch here. Go there and take the eye of my needle and go through all, or under all 4 stitches here, or 4 threads. There. And depending on how much you pull in your thread, the loop will be more or less round. There. And come up again here. Down in the hole, in the middle there. And up to the left. And down in the hole. Whoops. There. And come up a little further down. It's really bling bling, this piece here. And under all 4 threads. There. And down in the hole. Up in the circumference, down in the hole, if you don't have gold thread or gold fabric, as I said, find some yellowish color that looks like gold, and down in the hole there. And come up a little further down. There. go over under all 4 threads there and make the little loop. Same hole there. Okay. It is quite chunky, but I think it is working and I can manage to do it. So I will do this all the way around and then I can show you the piece to you. So I have been nearly all the way around and I'm only missing the last stitch here. And when you come to the where end or nearly where you started, you have to eyeball it a little. But I will just go up here and put my needle under the 4 threads here and go down here again, and then there, and just secure it here on the back. I don't do so much about that because it is sitting in a book and I think it is fine. This is a little boop, but I think as soon as I start to make single wheatear stitches in it here, it would lie flatter again. So I have decided to use this mercerized, it's pearl cotton and it's a thin one. I can't remember the number of it, but I think it looks nice. So I will find another needle than this big needle I had to use because I couldn't thread the other one. So I will just be back. Yes, I have just started to see how it looks and I think it is okay. They are quite small. So I will just drizzle them all over the surface here. So I can show you how I just make the single ones, but you probably already got it. So the first we will a diagonal stitch and the second diagonal stitch, come up a little further down, put your needle in there and down in the same hole again. That was a little wheatear. If you're doing it like this, you can also do it the sewing way and not the stab stitch way. That is up to you. What is easiest for you? There. So I will just fill this circle out with these small wheatear stitches. So finally done with all the stitching, and as I expected, this is lying much flatter and nicer now that it has gone all the single wheatear stitches. It's a little Christmassy like, but if you don't do Christmas, you perhaps don't think so, but it can also be New Year. We all need a little golden glimmer and bling bling in the new year, I think. But I have written the Dogma rules in my book, and now I will glue it in my book. I have it here. I will put the tape on first. Here, let me see, here is the end. Oh, sorry for shaking you. And I don't think it matters much which side is up and down. So I will just place it here and give it a good rub with my scissor. If you're placing yours in a book and you have so many pages, so you can have your embroidery on one side and nothing on the back side of that page, you can of course sew these in your book. but I don't have that. I have, yeah, did you see how quick that went? Yeah, but I only have pages, so there is full. Yeah, and sorry if my hair or anything is coming in now. There. Yeah, it was nearly in the bottom, but I think it is okay. I will take some close-ups at the end of the video of this one. And in fact, I should have taken a picture before I put it in here. It isn't easy to take pictures of a boggly thing like this. It is a little sad, and of course it is also a very nice thing that this has been going on for 52 weeks, and we succeeded in doing it all 52 weeks. So for that I'm happy, and I have already decided that we're going to make a new challenge. I am going to make a new challenge next year. So keep an eye out for that. The first one will be the first Thursday in the new year. Always the first Thursday in every month. And next year, the first January is a Thursday, so that would be a little funny if I'm sitting here with hangovers or what I will be. But I think I will do it in advance. I don't get drunk or anything, but I'm up late and usually tired the first January. But yeah, that was a side note. But be proud of yourself if you have done this, and for those of you who wants to be with me next year, apply, but don't apply if you don't want to do the challenge next year. But else I would just say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your nice comments and all the way you behave here in the group and in the comments, and yeah, I couldn't be more happy. So for now, I will just say Happy New Year to all of you, wherever you may celebrate it. And please stay creative, and please take care of yourself and the ones around, people around you. Be nice to each other, as I had said many times. Please be that. So see you the 1st of January next year, Thursday the 1st of January. So take care. So bye for now.